So let's get started. Let me see. Going back over here. So Leonardo is asking me to do some VOD review for him, and he did so earlier in the week, and this is another one. Let me see if you want to VOD. Okay, this one's... Yeah, Leonardo, if you can't be here, it's not a problem. I'll just review it. I'll put it on a video. You can watch it later, obviously. Just go to the points where, watch through. Saw that you posted on Discord if you want a VOD review, you think you'll be able to VOD review me, I'd probably be a quick play. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you play. Like a quick play versus competitive, competitive is preferred because you have 2 rounds, we get to see your full range of play, whether it be attack or defense, whatever map you're playing. Quick play can be fine too. I think that's a lot of what Leonardo gives me. I think this might be a competitive match. What is this, Paraiso? Yeah, this is a competitive match, so this might be a bit. We're going to jump right into it. Comp might take a little longer, though. I'm going to aim for hour-and-a-half VOD reviews at the bare maximum, if possible. If I go over a little over, whatever. Let me get my glasses while I'm talking. Two things, excuse me. 2 things to cover. First is what Leonardo mentioned right here. It's a ranking ranging from Silver 5 to Gold 3, so you are in the hotspot of the lowest average player not denomination, what's the word? Let's forget dictionarial words here for like a second. I was Tracer, Sombra, Soldier. Okay. On the blue team, what's yellow on my end? Ended with 28 kills and 13 deaths. Oh, and 13 was the low end. Oh boy. First round didn't go well with Tracer. The second round I used Sombra because my support asked me to do it, and it initially worked, but things got complicated and you don't know what happened next. 11k damage. That's good, that's good. So he mentions his settings. So, with the 3 heroes that you mentioned... Cursed number... No, not really. You have to... Okay, so... Kills, deaths, assists, all those stats don't give you an answer as to whether or not you're good or bad or anything like that. You can be the worst player on your team, still go off on kills and lose. It's a competitive-based... what's the word? Objective-based shooter. Like, you play the shooting game, yes. But the objective is more important than any stat that you can get. Yes, the 11k damage gives you an indicator of like, hey, depending on the hero that you're playing, are you dishing out damage? Are you getting eliminations? Are you doing your job on the role that you're playing? It gives small indicators, but it's not the overall picture. So when you give me those stats, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's good to know. But the real important thing is like, what were the other, like this is what I was talking about prior as well. About taking the mental notes, these things that like putting in the thing, play to improve. Don't just climb. Take some mental notes or physical notes about the things that you notice. So just to also cover that one when I get to it. Sensitivity 45. I don't remember if you mentioned being on dual zone or a linear ramp, but if you're on linear ramp still, then yes, 45 might be good. I'm going to say keep your aim assist window size for Soldier 50 or above. Aim assist ease in. Aim assist ease in might be a little high for Tracer Sombra, and Soldier could probably use that at about 50. Aim smoothing might be a little too low. I would suggest putting that to about 70, 80-ish. Okay, yeah, you do have dual zone then. Yeah, so if you can control that 45, leave it at that. If I could make one recommendation on the sensitivity with dual zone, try to put the vertical sensitivity going up and down. Try to make that one a little bit lower because you don't really need to be looking up so very often as compared to going left and right. And you want quick left to right movements going up and down. There's very few heroes with verticality compared to the majority of the roster. But even when they are, vertical movement is usually a little slower than the horizontal movement that you get. So just a tip that I heard, and it worked for me, so passing it on. So those notes, I do want to quickly just throw this out here. So all those notes that I did tell you to take, I have no problem with you listing off everything that you did. I don't remember if you mentioned it in a private message or where you put it. I saw that you left like a very large column of stuff. When I say that, what I really mean is like you don't have to make like a gigantic list and focus on everything. Focus on the important things and look for repeats. Like, okay, am I constantly out of position? And if I am, where and adjacent to where am I supposed to be? Am I always finding myself at? Like, you don't need to put each individual note of each individual thing with a timestamp, but just like, hey, notice I'm just out of position. Okay, so you're noticing now that you're out of position. Between team fights, like if your team wins the team fight, takes the point, does whatever, what are you doing? Are you standing there on point? Are you supposed to be on point? Are you with your team? Is your team going up and, like, let's just say it's Numbani for 2 seconds, like you're defending the first point and you succeed. So are they up top while you're on bottom? Are you up top while they're on bottom? Where are you in adjacent to that? Are you farther forward by the bus, down the strip? Are you closer to the spawn area? Are you in the back area? Like, it's not about the note itself. It's about realizing the general consensus of the things that you're missing in your match. So I'm going to recommend to you, because he kind of simplifies it in some of his videos, and it'll you can find whatever applies to you. Look up Spilo, Spilo. More experienced coach than I can ever hope to be right now. But a little bit, too. Reducing the vertical sensitivity will help you because in the micro movements, it does lower the sensitivity when you're trying to aim up and down. So give it a small adjustment, see if it helps out, but it should. It's not a guarantee because it depends on your play style, how you adjust. So I wouldn't, like I have, let me go into my settings real quick yeah. So I'll go to the VOD review anyway because we've got to get started. So my horizontal sensitivity with my vertical sensitivity. So you see it's a 15 number difference. I found that 15% difference between horizontal and vertical works best for me. I've experimented with it. The vertical sensitivity at being 10% different kind of felt really weird. But I wouldn't recommend Awkward. Awkward's right now going through a phase of giving very bad information and very bad takes. So, wait a minute. Did I not put the... Okay, did I put it maybe on the wrong one? Huh. Well, let me fix that now. Because this is... I did have it here, right? Wallpaper. I thought that I put that in, but I guess I didn't. There we are. And put you down over here. This is where I want to be. You can, whoops. All right, so that should be good. Right, so don't really need to talk about much. Yeah, Awkward's not bad supposedly, but he's been going through a lot of controversial topics lately, so I don't know if his word is starting to become suspect or something, but all right. So we are going to get going. Can't hear a thing. Come on. Out. Okay, so just as a quick reminder, he mentions he plays Tracer, Sombra, and Soldier. He starts off with Tracer, ends with Soldier. Midway through, on the next round, he plays Sombra. Okay, so before the team fight begins, let's just put that a little forward. So what's the team dynamic looking like? Unless they change it out the door. So... first things first, you're probably going to realize this after, but I'm not telling you to realize this now. So, the big threats to you, without a shadow of a doubt, Reaper, Kiriko, Bastion, Mauga to an extent. He could definitely gun you down very quickly, so Tracer might not have been the pick anyway. But if there's a benefit to Mauga, he's a very large target, no barriers, so you're going to get full value from this. And quite frankly, that's about a good thing. Taking out the tank as quick as possible, focus him down, or focus the enemy to backline. So let me see. You're trading bastions. Yeah. This is mainly for higher ranks. You're right now running a very bad support comp because the supports that are right now benefiting from this current patch, including the hotfix, are ones that are able to preserve themselves, and although Baptiste is technically able to preserve himself with the Immortality Field, it's not as potent as it was before. Mercy's going to be run ragged, and you have a Doomfist. It's a very weird team composition. It's not bad, but it just depends if you're able to go with your Doom and dive targets. So, again, your big takeaways are Reaper, Bastion, and Kiriko, kind of Moira, but if you can get Moira to use her Fade and, pressure her into using all her abilities on you, even better. Right, so, let's get going.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend
Okay.
objective A.
Who got the kill? Oh, Bastion, okay. So, gotta say that in the latest games I played, I punched more. I was shooting like if I were playing Winston, but with characters like Mei and Tracer too. Yeah. Funny thing about meleeing, when you're playing Tracer, it actually does more damage in between beats. So you should definitely be meleeing whenever you're like reloading, and you make sure, like, getting that extra 40 damage, especially now that it's 40 damage, it's really consistent. Quick note. So, it worked. Your Bastion got rid of their tank, but now you lost your Bastion, and here you are without your rewind. But the thing to quickly note, your position right now, you're a fish in a barrel, and you currently have the Kiriko on you. Thankfully, the Bastion's not looking at you. This is a scrub team fight on their end, and it's not that I say that you should have kept high ground, but I wouldn't have taken down here for two reasons. One, where you're at is very confined, whereas over here, yes, you might be confined, but you have your cover options with the bus, you have your cover options with the building, and then you could even, again, you could also pressure this Tracer into possibly using her resources and push her back. As long as you play the building corner right here, you should be good. I wouldn't recommend taking that area over here just because of how enclosed it is. But you trade it in a team fight. Let's see what happens. Going to be a little bit controversial. Your team is winning the fight, so thankfully you have nothing too much to worry about. I would say stick with Doom, because Doom's going to be doing a lot of diving by giving a second target for them to concentrate on, to play split, but not apart. If that makes sense. Essentially, what you're looking to do is play alongside, but don't be practically making love to Doomfist. Be next to him, split off while still remaining in a very close proximity. Give them two targets to shoot where they have to either focus you, focus him, or third option, not focus either of you because they're in a fluster like, oh, who do I target? Who's going to be easier? You get them in that, and you obviously win the team fight on that third option, but don't give them a fair fight. Stick with your Doomfist on this one. You're also playing a little bit passive by being back here. Again, this is kind of like, what do you do during the team fight? I wouldn't position by the bus, because, yeah, you might have all three options, but they're pushing over here because your team's over here and they're going to be taking the fight. It's kind of like, let me see, did I have... Okay. so I got that. Let me see if my window capture... I'm going to do Microsoft Paint for like 2 seconds. So something, it's kind of like, if anybody's ever heard of Jane. Jane came up with, let me actually do this. Jane was a coach in OWL, and he did a lot of VOD reviews for everybody. So we know Eichenwald. This is the tower in Eichenwald where there's this room with like the little health pack. If I can grab my brush, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's like the little health pack in here. You go over here. There's like a little wreckage right here. The point's right here. You come around over here, or you can go around over there. So all that stuff. So he gave an example, and I'm going to use it here. This is the tower. So if the enemy team is positioned, let's say, right here, or... and like, that's just an example, so we'll just minimize everything. Let's say that your team is right here. Where should you be doing? What should you, in particular, be doing? You're playing Tracer or Soldier. You should be playing Ring Around the Rosie. You have the mobility to come around. You now pressure them from here while your team pressures from the front. You're now pincering. But here's the fun bit. Play Ring Around the Rosie, because now, let's hypothetically say, oh, now they come to focus you. Guess what you can do? Ring Around the Rosie right back to your team. And now that you're with your team, you made them use their resources to pursue you, even if it's very minimal, just giving up space. Now you're with your team, it's a full 5v5. Once again, excuse that. Once you go back, even if it was a 4v5 when you initially left, you were pincering them, so you were still contributing. By making them give up that space in that corner, you've taken away a very serious advantage that they had, which was time. And resource. So that's just an example right here, like going back over to... we're going to hide this now. But you're right now on this area with your team literally all huddled right there, and they're coming out of spawn. I wouldn't peek too heavily. I might stay like right over here by the cars or right over here by the wall. But when your team starts to engage and be pushed back, Ring Around the Rosie that. Don't use all your blinks to do it, by the way. I should also add this as a very important point. Do not use all of your blinks. You don't have to use your blinks. Sometimes slower is better because now you have your escape tools. Do you have your rewind? Yes, you do. So your rewind is a very important life-saving tool. I wouldn't abuse that to get back into position. But again, I wouldn't stick with the team. I would go over here. I'd go right over here, and when they push forward and when they're clearly preoccupied, just get them from the back. Try to get maybe the Moira or the Kiriko. Doesn't really matter as long as you gain their attention. Your team can push forward. They have the resources to basically take out the team and cause a lot of disruption and a lot of damage. Go for it. Let's move on. Yeah, this is another example of playing passive. So it looks like they went Sombra to try and counteract you. Let's see. There you go, there you go. Save your blinks. Ah. Good rewind. Yeah, get back with your team. No! It's not that you should be... you had it! Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple of times you probably could have gotten Moira. I'm not really gonna go back on that. That was pretty self-explanatory. But you have your ultimate for the next fight. What I am noticing too is that it seems like you're having trouble keeping up with them when they're going. I would try and suggest going a little bit higher on the sensitivity, maybe 55 instead of 45, and see if that 10 will help you. If it's too much, go back 5 and just go 50-50. Get the supports. Get the supports. Oh boy. Yeah, stay out of that. Ah, this is a lost team. I'd get out. I'd get out. Ah, and you waste. You're dead. Yeah. I'll be honest. That I wouldn't have stuck around. So I'm assuming that your settings are set so that you have the kill feed that's up. Why are you not playing? Come on now. Come on. Yeah, I'm assuming that you have the kill feed, and the kill feed is going to be your friend on this instance, because if you see that you lost 3 of your team, just pull out. And if we go back a little bit, like where you were in adjacent, like your team was over here, you're in the middle of playing. There's the 3 that are dead. There you are. You have every opportunity right now, with your ultimate, to pull back and regroup with your team, even if it's just with the Bastion over here. Just get back over here, go over here, stick back here, whatever not. It doesn't really matter where you go. The point is that you're nowhere near them. And just try to regroup with your team. Even if Sombra would have catch up with you, you would have survived. And even if she killed you, you would have been with your team. So just let her. But this is... I know what you were trying to do, but either way you wouldn't have killed the Bastion. Because of the health boost, he is now able to survive, and he had his entire team with him. Let's see. Benefit from flanking right now. Your team. I'll just get out. You're struggling. Ah! I can't tell if that Sombra lost battery on her controller or... Good, good. I would use... Hey, good stuff. Good, good. Yeah, pull back. You got nothing to lose. How are you trapped? Yeah, they paired their ult very well. Yeah, nothing I don't think you could have done right there, but if I could just make one quick... Yeah, this... I don't think you should have gotten trapped. Yeah, you pulled out... So... Look, where to begin, quite frankly. So, this is the middle of the team fight. You did the right thing by trying to take the flank angle while your team pushed forward a little bit. That's fine. Do you have your whole team with you? Yes, you do. Okay. So, you're doing the right thing by taking the flank. I would have stayed behind this trunk real quick and been, like, you know, peeking back and forth every once in a while to see where the enemy team is. But if Moira comes to you, you're already there. You're denying her space by not letting her be able to flank. So I wouldn't have gone forward and done that. A good thing you didn't use your rewind. No, you shouldn't have gotten targeted. Sorry, but you shouldn't have. So he was obviously going in for an ult. I know it's not probably as obvious as you would think. I think that song... Oh, I see exactly what they did. Wow. They planned this. They planned this. Yeah, this is a scrub team fight. Who are you aiming? Oh, Malga. Okay, I was about to say, who are you shooting at over there? Yeah, no, they had your number on this one. I don't think there's much more you could have done. The most that I would have done was probably push towards this direction, but it looks like Malga... I don't even know how he got up. Like, how did he even get up? Oh, he took the stairs. Wow. Yeah, no, I would have probably stopped shooting from the high ground and come this way. At least you would have given Malga something else to shoot at, and your Bastion might have been able to help you somewhat. But, yeah, they really planned this out. There's really nothing you could have done. Yeah, there's nothing you could have done.
Let them up.
So one problem with this, I see what you were trying to do to maximize damage, but there's two problems. One, your spread. Your spread's too much. Even if your bullets are hitting for the smaller targets, you're losing out on potential damage with every bullet in the spread. The second is that you're too far away. Even Malga is just barely outside of your range deficit. So you're doing 100% more damage out of your range, you're just doing normal damage. At that point, you may as well just be on point contesting instead of playing passive up top. Like, Soldier would benefit from being up there. Tracer, on the other hand, would benefit more from being back here, pushing on that Bastion, being over here, making Moira focus on you instead of D.Va, who obviously can't do anything about her beam. Pressuring the Mercy into potentially giving up on her res. Most likely she wouldn't. Looks like your Bastion had that handled anyway, but you'd be giving some support for your D.Va, so that would be helping you out. But there's just, honestly, no point to staying up there. Good pulse bomb. You got rid of a major source of their healing too. If there's one thing that I can say you're consistent about, you consistently do yourself a favor and go for the most important targets first. You go for their backline. On a very consistent basis. It's not like pro level, like, oh, I'm always in their backline, but when you do it, you're consistent. And for that, good pulse bomb. Okay, good. Taking an off angle. You don't hear that? Your Reaper's kind of being dumb. Sombra just nullifies any element of surprise he has. He might as well. He's not frontlining, but good. Stay on point. Get Malga. nothing you could have done there. Get on point, though. No! I could get the panic ult. Yeah, I don't think there's much you could have done there. If you went in there early, then Mauga would have just gotten you, but dang. I mean, the only thing that I would have recommended doing instead, yeah, go for the Bastion. But when he's targeting you, stay right there, stay on point. I wouldn't have used the rewind immediately, but yeah, I would have tried to have been a little bit more patient with the pulse bomb usage and make sure you were going to land something rather than nothing, and don't just panic ult. But again, I don't think that would have done you any good because Sombra's about to get her EMP anyway, and their entire team is currently, for the most part, on team aside from Mauga, and where is Anna? Anna's coming in. Yeah, you were by yourself. Your team is nowhere close by. I think you weren't going to get that, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yeah, there's the end date.
Ready for battle. In my world, there are no secrets.
No mistakes.
Ready
I'm
for
done
battle.
with Talon. Nothing can make me change my mind.
Okay, this is where you go, Sombra. Okay.
Ready for battle.
So, you said, who said to, was that the other DPS you said was the one who told you to go Sombra? But the second round I used Sombra because my support asked you to do it. But, I mean, Sombra's not bad in this patch. She's not S tier damage. She has the sustain, so that's where she can self-preserve, she can remain hidden, she can still do things. But the thing is, like, Sombra v Sombra. So first off, their Sombra's doing... You see, I'm having a tough time compartmentalizing everything. So let me try and simplify this. So you're doing a very good job by getting in their back line. They made a single mistake, I could tell. They went Anna. Oh my God, they went Anna Olari. There's really no reason you should be losing against that kind of combo there. Your team is kind of throwing in an extent too with your support. I don't know which support. I have no idea which support that you were trying to cater to, but for the fact that you had Mercy and Baptiste, I wouldn't have trusted any of their decisions, truthfully. Like, I would not have listened to them.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I think that your damage and tank were telling you not to do that.
Did I scare you?
The moment you see his health is low, don't waste your virus on that. Your virus is a very good ability that has damage over time, and that Bastion's about to go down. You wasted that potentially when you could have used it on the Olari when you were fighting her. Again, it was probably an ability, panic ability, but, you know, for future reference, if you see someone that low, you should probably save it for someone who's a little bit healthier. Like Olari. Whoa. I'm very confused as to what you're trying to do. Let's quickly just check this out. Let's look at this from third perspective. So you go out the door, and the first thing you do is that you're actually in front of your tank. Hey, hey Riot, I almost didn't say hi, I'm sorry. Yeah, so you're frontlining with Sombra. Number one problem, you're frontlining. Again, that's something that you do a lot, and it's okay. Yeah, let me see. You know, I could exit off of Discord for right now. Just so that way it's not doing everything. Quit Discord. That'll do. Yeah, so, back on topic. So, you're frontlining a Sombra, already the #1 problem. Sombra is like Tracer in the fact that you could be benefiting more from flanking and getting into their backline. You have some of the strongest abilities to... Shut up, Arietta. You have one of the strongest capabilities to go unhindered into their backline and basically harass them and assassinate. For going the front line that you did, and by just being a little bit patient, you could have essentially split from your team, gone the right side. It is very possible you would have run into Sombra and you would have stopped her from doing it to your team. The possibility did exist. But, let's say that you managed to miss each other and not get it. And she continues into the back line, you continue into theirs. It's a trade-off. But your spawn is closer. So that's a big deal. You come around, nobody's focusing you, so you don't have to panic. You could take your time, get positioned into a safe spot, take maybe the high ground up here. Go up the stairs, hack Alari, shoot at her from above so that she needs to look up and focus you from a very difficult, advantageous position. You can literally throw your translocator into that room. You could throw it up onto that base and go into that room. You have options. But by frontlining, you've eliminated that for your team. You almost got shot by Mauga. You did take a slightly better angle by going as far to the left as you did. But now we have another problem. The Bastion that was about to die, you use a very bad ability. You come out of stealth, out of panic. And now you're pressuring their Alari. You're literally hugging their Mauga. I was going to say Maui. Yeah, you're basically frontlining. Yeah. What's going on right now? Is your team actually capping point?
I'll find a back door.
Oh no, they're actually full capping. Good, good. Taking high ground. Hack him, hack him, hack him. All right. What can I say except you're welcome? Okay. Okay, good, good. Okay. So you're doing what I just basically implied that you should be doing. That's good, that's good, that's good. No, not top messages. All messages, you jerk. If Reinhardt dies in the lore, should he be replaced by someone, or would he just exist? He would just exist, quite frankly. That's the short answer. He would exist. So you're doing the right thing. Let me go third person here. So what I would do, and I don't know if you're going to do it, but don't panic. Wait for them to start their engagement. You have time. And then assassinate their backline. I would try to force out Moira's, because here's the thing, like when you're measuring who to target and when you target them, Moira is going to fade and render all your abilities useless. So what you should do if you're going to target Moira is hack her. When she gets her ability, she panics and uses her fade. And when she comes out of fade, then you hit her with the virus, and that will help damage her and mitigate her healing, which should give you an outstanding advantage. If you're targeting Anna, she can't do much to save herself apart from throwing the nade. So she would be using a very vital cooldown. Yeah, let's just see what happens. went for Bastion.
Heroes never die.
Hold the MP, don't be using it. Ooh! Dang. I mean, it's useless because your team just capped point and now you have spawn advantage.
Catch you later.
I mean, to simplify everything that I'm watching, the real issue right now is that you're playing Sombra and Tracer like you're playing Soldier. You should be taking more advantage of the fact that you can't be seen while you're taking a backline approach. You have the ability to cancel abilities, cancel ults, put damage over time, force out key cooldowns. You have the ability to do all this. Your kit is the most unique when it comes to that aspect because you're probably one of the only few that can actually get in without anybody seeing you. And the issue that we're running into is that you're playing frontline, you're playing passive, and then you're panicking when you have nothing to panic about. So you're playing Soldier like you're playing these guys, you're playing these guys like you're playing Soldier, excuse me. So you're acting like you have to use your rocket as soon as possible to do the burst damage. You're shooting them whenever possible. They play by very different rules. And you need to exert a little bit of patience. We're going to finish this up and then I'll go into a practice range and see if I can show you what I mean by it. But how much longer is on this? 6 more minutes? Okay. Just seeing where the time is. There might be some overtime. Good hack. That's another thing. It's not your job to protect your backline when your job is to attack the enemy backline. You don't need to go and support your team. Your team should be making up for it so that you can be attacking their backline. Your target right now should be Anna. You heard something back here and then you abandoned your objective and went back to assist. If you're in a position to help them, do it. But there was no need to do it. There was really no need to do it. And it's Bastion anyway, so you have time and spawn advantage right at the minute. Yeah, so this goes hand in hand with the resource management as well. You're using your translocator as you're using it like Tic Tacs when you should probably be treating it like gourmet meals. Like, you don't do it all the time. You don't go out and eat all the time. You what's the word I'm looking for here? You use it when you need it. And it is a key resource that can do a lot of things. Okay, so I'm also gonna let you we have a famous Overwatch streamer who said that the DPS main objectives were. You're gonna follow up on this one. Let me go over here. That's not gonna give me accurate information anyway.
Somebody call. Tengo que irme.
Yeah, hold that EMP. Hold that EMP.
My ultimate is ready. Heroes are sitting up right now. Gracias.
Okay, then now EMP, 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 EMP. What are you doing? Give your team the engagement. Give your team the engagement. let's go back real quick. Let me explain to you why you should have. Okay, so let's go back a little further. Okay, enemy team. Your team is on the way. Bastion's out of position. You're going for Bastion. He's now back with his team. Immediately take advantage. Go the route. Either pursue the kill or break off. The enemy team is together. The enemy team is together. Your team is now together and making a push. So good that you took the angle. But because you were so passive and you went back with your team, you're going to frontline again. Now, I don't know if you're aware of your teammates' cooldowns, but right now, right here, right now, I would have jumped down, EMP'd, and translocated to the top. And there's two reasons why. You shut down everything. Do it, do it, do it, do it. If you had EMP'd in the fight earlier, Anna would not have slept your Mauga, and he would have been able to get his ult, killing them. You would have stopped him from being able to use any of his shields, his barriers, whatever not. You would have stopped them all from being able to save themselves. You literally could have canceled them all out. But you waited, EMP'd here, you died for it, your tank died anyway. You wasted a res. It's a traded fight.
Trying to get me out? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a lost team fight. It's a traded team fight that turned into... Yeah. So let me read this real quick. Annoying the rival tank and the enemy supports, help our supports, and beat the enemy DPS. So there's a problem with that. Number one, he's not wrong in annoying the tank and the enemy supports. Harass is another word too. So harassing the backline, absolutely. You have the capability with a bunch of damage heroes to annoy their backline and shoot from a distance, like Widowmaker's a big example of harassing the backline, because if she's not being taken care of, she can freely shoot up to the distance of 70 meters now, and she can take heads and take names. The tank, that's not correct. Harassing them and forcing out cooldowns, yes. Killing them, maybe. It shouldn't be your goal to kill them alone. They now have the kit to be able to endure a lot. So you really shouldn't be looking to kill them. Although, if the opportunity does arise, take it. Take what you can get. But you already have someone doing that job on the tanks front because he has the damage numbers to actually take out a tank in a fitting. Ghost Dog. And if Ghost Dog over here is being pocketed by Mercy with the damage boost, bam, tanks are just done. So immediately right off the bat, the enemy supports should be your primary target because you have the capability to go into the back line without being touched and harass them. Next job of a DPS, you said, help your supports. Define how do you help them. Again, like in the instance where we were rotating and you played passive and you went back with your team because the Bastion was there taking them out from the back. If you're there, good. But it's not your job when you're supposed to be somewhere in a better position. So the best way I could say it, let's just use the map for an example. So you were back here. Technically you were out of position. Now, in this instance, correct, you should have assisted your supports. Because you were back here, your supports were right over here, the Bastion was over there behind this doorway, and helping them out was the right thing to do because what were you going to do? There was literally nothing for you to do. So you were in the back line, there they were, your helping them was a good thing. But let's say that you were in the right position, playing a little bit more aggro, taking a more aggressive angle, here you are. That's not your job. Your job is not to save your supports. Your job, when you're playing Sombra properly and you're in position to do your job, is to harass their lines so that they have to split resources to either take care of you and push you out, or focus your team. I'm drawing some blanks here. I might be very tired. I might need to take a nap today. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of like the big takeaway right there. Let's see. What was that last one? Beat the enemy DPS? Yeah, pretty much. Here's the thing. Damage's role is very complex. It doesn't have a very specific... Like, everybody's job in the game, regardless of role, is to get eliminations and play objectives. Everybody's thing. When you look to supports, they enable your team, disable the enemy team, provide unique utility for your team, upkeep the team through healing and boosting, in the case of, like, Anna and Zen, causing, like, all these different things, unique interactions to happen. Tank, they play the front line for the most part, or they're supposed to be leading the engagements and disengagements of the team. They are the chief cornerstone and should definitely be playing with the team whenever possible, and should definitely... They're not supposed to technically be bullet sponges, but, you know, it's kind of like a hit or miss thing here right now with the devs. But damage doesn't have that. Oh, get eliminations. Everybody does that. Oh, deal damage. Everybody does that. Play the objective. Everybody does that. The only one unique thing to them, debatably, is the uniqueness that they bring to taking eliminations and the kits that they provide. And then the second thing they provide is playmaking. So providing that one ultimate that will swing a team fight. Was saving them, I meant something like peel. Yeah, peel. Well, again, yeah, Sombra's not necessarily... It's not that she can't peel. It's not that she has the complete 100% inability to peel. It's that if you were playing her in her proper position, you would be back here, harassing their back line, making their supports split from having to heal the team and enable them to win team fights to focusing you. Now, yes, the Bastion is getting away with that, and technically helping them was not necessarily the wrong thing, but if you took away the support, now Bastion has nothing to go back to but looking for a health pack. And to meet with his other damage and his tank. You just took away their lifeline from that one. So going back over to here, by playing as passive as you did and not doing the EMP sooner, I would have gone in and used it, even if it costed me my life. It would have been a one team fight. Because nobody could have stopped your Mauga from using his ult. Nobody could have stopped anything. Like, heck, I believe that your Bastion also had the ult almost ready to go for this. But you could have stopped... You could have stopped literally the 3 crowd control abilities from... Or, 2 crowd control abilities, excuse me, from stopping your Mauga. You would have stopped him completely because they would have been locked out from using abilities while he placed down his cage fight. So that's just kind of like the takeaway here, is like, you gotta... When you see opportunities, take them. You need to jump to it more and play a little bit more aggressively, not hyper-aggressively, because... Until you even make an aggressive play style a little bit more norm for you, hyper-aggressive is a very bad idea. It makes you make more mistakes as you go. But, again, that's an example right there, is you probably should have used it sooner. Oh, now he knows you're there. You're not winning this. How you got out of that alive, he must... Let me see this from his end. I don't know how you survived that. By all rights, he should have had you. I mean, I see what your Mauga's doing, but he just had no supports. Oh my god. I'm not coaching any of them, I'm coaching you. Yeah. I see that what you meant to do versus what actually happened.
Group up, Banda.
Let them worry about grouping up. You no. Oh my god. You have two choice options here. I think I know what you're gonna do, but what you should be doing. Yes, the Reaper's taking the high ground again, but at least you're denying him the space to be able to go back behind your team. And best case scenario, you push yourself forward and you take the back. Worst case scenario, you just stay in this room right here and you keep him from doing anything. Ah! He knows how to use his abilities wisely. I'm thinking that he might be one of the higher ranked players in your game currently. He stopped you from operating. There's nothing that you could do there. But you did the right thing by pushing him back, because with your presence there, he was forced to take care of you. And when he gave away his position and realized, oh shit, the entire enemy team is there, just pull back. He's got nothing more to do.
Let me try that again.
You going soldier here? Yep.
Every soldier needs a cause. We got where we wanted.
I'll give you a quick tip, because I had to learn this one the hard way too. When I'm playing soldier, there's a few times where you want to shoot the barrier, but you can only do that when the rest of your team is there to help you, because you're not a barrier busting hero. You're consistent damage, but by yourself you're wasting an entire clip and an entire 5 to 10 seconds to get rid of a barrier when you could be doing damage to a hero. You could literally take 2 seconds, use your sprint to get here, and you just bypassed his barrier. You just bypassed his barrier completely. Now he's got to recall it. He's got to take time to let it recharge on the cooldown. And then he could put it up on you again. Sprint, bypass it again. Sprint, bypass it again. You're wasting your time by shooting at a barrier and not dealing damage. Just reposition. You have the capability to do that on soldier. So just future advice, if you run into this scenario again where it's like, oh, I'm shooting from the top. He puts up a barrier right there and now I can't deal damage. Right here, before you even continue, just reposition. Just reposition. Just go literally down here, jump, whatever, look back down. Guess what? Look at where his barrier is placed. Perpendicular to where you're shooting, so he can't get cover unless he's in the direct middle. Yeah, you're just dealing damage to the barrier. You're eliminating a resource at the very least. So, I admit the timing might be a little iffy, but the moment he teleported, I wouldn't have used the rocket now. I would have used the rocket now. And for 2 reasons. 1, it would have knocked him back and potentially off. Number 2, you would have dealt the same damage anyway, and probably caused him to panic with more pressure up here than down there. Yeah, those are really the 2 big things. Yeah, their Reaper might be one of the higher ranked players in your lobby.
They'll regret it. Get the payload moving.
Seconds remaining.
Good kill.
Can't save you every time.
Backline, backline, backline. Oh, that's not good.
Still got some fight in me.
30 seconds.
Position, reposition. So the moment that you see the feed turn completely like one-sided, stop, stop, stop. Get out, go to the side, hide yourself. Be ready for when your team inevitably comes. Exactly, fall back, fall back. I wouldn't even fall back. I would stay close to the point as possible. You can actually be hidden right here. And then even if they pursued you, there's like a health pack over here. They'd have to climb the steps or use an ability to get up top. You could be safe right here. Just don't bring attention to yourself. And because you brought attention to yourself, now they're coming for you, and Reaper's got you again. Yeah, he dubbed the T-Bat. He's definitely... Yeah, it's what I figured would happen. So just going back like 2 seconds. Like, the moment that your feed turned completely yellow all dead, I would have taken the back end right here, hidden myself. Yes, he would have taken the high ground, but you would have stalled point. Like, you would have been in a prime position that nobody would have known that you were there. And when that timer hits like 2 or 3, run to the point, get on top of it, and now you stall the point, forcing the Reaper to either turn around and rejoin his team, and giving your team just that much more room to be able to get over. But I don't think that they would have been able to make it anyway. No, they wouldn't have been able to make it. Yeah. Unfortunate, unfortunate. So, quick recap. Let's go back over here. So the recap, the very important thing. You're doing better. I can see it. I can tell what you're talking about. I'm really losing my mental fortitude here. It's not you guys. It's my work. So the trouble that I can see that you're having is that you're playing your Tracer and your Sombra like you're playing Soldier. If anything, that needs to be swapped. Soldier is more of an all-around tool belt where he can adapt his playstyle very minimally. Thank you, by the way. And he can play like a Tracer by taking backlines, taking angles, whatever not. But he could also play with his team. Tracer can play with her team, but remember, she's not just a frontline fighter. She's very delicate. When it comes to Tracer, she's 175 HP. She could be eliminated pretty quickly, even for being more durable than she was normally. So what you need to do when you're playing Tracer, play your angles better, stop playing frontlining. You don't always have to peel for your team, although peeling for your team is always good if you're not yet in position and you're just there to do it. So it's not necessarily never do it. It's just if you're properly positioned, which you should try to be at every possible moment, do it. The aggression level, you're playing very passive. You're, again, playing like a soldier by being passive, keeping the high ground, backing up a little bit, reloading, taking high angles, securing the high ground, so on and so forth. You have the mobility with Tracer and with Sombra to get into positions that no other heroes can do in that unique a fashion. Excuse me. So, all in all, being a little bit more aggressive can help by taking those aggressive angles, trying to always split the enemy team's attention, being disruptive. You have to look for those opportunities, and that'll come with time as you play more and you start to realize, hey, this is actually working. But the other thing I'll quickly note, we've already talked about resource management and ultimate usage and everything. Try to look, when it came to the Sombra thing, this is I'll just tack this on to what I said prior, so nothing changed. But look for those opportunities to chain those ultimates together. And you basically had the same thing that they pulled on you. If you had went in and EMP'd, shut them down, you would have gotten them in the cage fight, and then your Bastion could have ulted as well and basically gotten a wipe on there, and you could have taken the point. You literally could have done what the enemy team did to you prior in the match. But other than that, those are the real only improvements. There's a lot of good stuff. Again, you're doing very good when it comes to target prioritization. It was a little iffy this time compared to the rest of them, but you did good. I very much liked how you were trying to go for the back line from time to time, and how you would always hyper focus on one player, which is good because that shows that you're able to keep your attention on them. But again, it's also recognizing how to efficiently get rid of them, also to kind of remain calm while doing it, and looking for potentially better options in the cases where you're trying to target Bastion instead of the supports like Iliari and Moira and Anna. So you should always be trying to go for the support line. If you pick off the supports, they lose their sustain. That's why you go for the support players first. So just some stuff to keep in mind. And that is pretty much it for the VOD review.